Popular leaker Centro Leaks posted on Christmas some pictures of the Switch 2. It looks pretty much the same as what we expected, but he had also confirmed through Pyoro, a leaker who we had thought left the leaking scene, that at least one of the images had the correct logo for the next Switch.
After the Wii U, I can't be that surprised that they're going this route, but they did miss the opportunity to call it the Switcheroo.
I mean, that's just a bad name.
Why?
The whole problem with the Wii U was that no one knew that it was the Wii's successor.
Not just bad marketing.
I mean, that's the whole point of the Wii U's issue, was that the marketing was bad because no one knew that the Wii U was just a new console and not an expansion to the Wii.
I still stand by my point. They should have called it Switcheroo. But let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. But moving on, welcome to Necro News, the show where we cover the hottest gaming news from last week. Though with the holidays and everything happening, there isn't a whole lot of news.
However, since the new year is right around the corner and the winter sale is still ongoing, we decided to take the opportunity to do a year in review and also cover all the games you need to get in the Steam winter sale before it ends.
If you're interested in keeping up with the latest gaming news and other weird stuff, consider subscribing to the channel. Let's get a few stories out of the way first. This first story is less about gaming and more about retro gaming enthusiasts. YouTuber Shank Mods has found the world's biggest CRT, the Sony PVM 4300. This isn't some small discovery, as the TV was not only hand-produced, as opposed to mass-produced, but also very expensive.
Because of its low production and high cost, it was more or less a myth to most people. But through a series of events that we're not going to ape from the video, you should go watch it, it was discovered in a soba shop in Japan. Again, you really should go watch the video because it was absolutely fascinating in just how lucky he was discovering the TV and getting it.
Fun fact, it weighs like 200 pounds. Massive 90GB leak of various Halo material was posted on V the other day. The leak's origin source was confirmed to have been from the Halo Digsite project, which was that 343 initiative where they asked the community modders to help restore cut Halo content.
Twitter user Dogbraid Ludus confirmed that it was all the Digsite info, though apparently at least 6 months old. He also confirmed that no one who had recently left the Digsite project were the ones behind the leak, and that none of them had access to the debug DLLs that were included in the leak.
And to give context, according to Dogbrain, a lot of members of the Digsite project had left due to either a disagreement with the way Microsoft views the community, or just no financial incentive to continue making the updates of the game. According to him, the first Halo is easy to mod in his spare time. Halo 3, however, was a little more complicated, especially restoring an entire level.
There is a lot of content which is still being discovered, but a couple of the most notable things that have been found are a build of the E3 2000 version of Halo 1, which is famously incompatible with the original Xbox console, along with the campaign overviews and missions descriptions for the Halo trilogy. Modders have even been able to put together a playable version of the Halo beta where it was a third-person shooter. So that's cool, that's neat. Hopefully this means the Halo community can do something more with this information than just the few people that Microsoft wanted to abuse.
The story doesn't end there, however, as the README included in the massive leak made heavy hints toward Deus Ex being the target of their next leak. So that would be cool, I guess.
Mandatory JC bomb.
Oh my god, JC, a bomb!
A what?
A bomb.
Final story for the week is that Star Fox 64 has received a fan-made PC port from the same team that created the PC port of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Just like the other two games, this one requires you to have the officially dumped game to your computer in order to run.
Surprisingly, the designer for Star Fox, Takaya Imamura, even tweeted about it on X, stating, "I don't think Nintendo would tolerate this, but I'm personally very happy about it." So that's cool. And that's it for this week's stories. Since it's a light week, we wanted to take a look back at the year and highlight old topics to see how they changed throughout the year. First, let's get the depressing stuff out of the way. Layoffs were a huge thing this year, and some people even capitalized on it. But as of this year, there has been a total of 14,639 confirmed layoffs in the gaming industry. It's a bad time for game devs in the AAA market, but the indie scene is killing it, so there's that.
I remember Skull mentioning this being a possibility in 2022 when he got laid off from his job. So Skull, you're not allowed to predict anything anymore, period. No more.
Unless it's good.
Blizzard fucked up a total of 7 times, which is far better than last year's Funk Up count, but hey, they never learn. We're not going to go over every single one of their screw-ups, just the important ones.
Overwatch 2 was by far the cause of most of their issues this year, as they cancelled the promised single-player campaign and instead decided to release a small pack of PvE missions. Blizzard promised more would be coming, but, they lied, and scrapped the PvE entirely, including the tower defense mode that people would still play, which means that the only way to play PvE was to buy the DLC for missions from their abandoned store PvE mode. To quote us back in episode 88, so it's safe to bet that the main reason they made an Overwatch 2 was a fucking lie. Shocking.
And finally, in October, Blizzard wiped the inventories of every guild in World of Warcraft with the latest War Within expansion. We're talking thousands of items lost, and comparatively few were reimbursed as it needed to be done manually, because this was a database issue. If we did this whole thing last year, the segment would have easily been just about an hour long because of how badly Blizzard fucked up in 2023. In comparison, having only 7 bona fide funk-ups, omitting one in particular, for the whole year is kind of good. But they're also under Microsoft, so who knows what'll happen next.
I'm not
Blizzard
anymore.
Oh, really?
Really? I went from
Blizzard to Microsoft.
who knows what I'll be next.
Nintendo had a chip on its shoulder this year, and it was literally everyone's problem. But Nintendo has always been trigger happy with their DMCAs and other legalities. This year, they've been outrageously litigious. It started in March when Nintendo went after popular Switch emulator Yuzu, claiming that because of Yuzu, Tears of the Kingdom was pirated around 1 million times.
March is honestly the turning point for Nintendo's villain arc, as they then channel striked, that's strike, not claimed, a YouTuber for showing a video using a Pokemon mod for Call of Duty, not even one that he had created. Not content with that, Nintendo then went after the very popular, very famous, and very large Pokemon fan site, Relic Castle.
In July, they went after 2 individuals who resold the Make Switch, a third-party data backup tool. And Nintendo President Furukawa stated that he believes action should be taken against anyone that makes R34 of Nintendo characters, even though that's half of what makes their games popular. Then, of course, in September, we all know Nintendo decided to sue Palworld over 3 very vague patents, one of which might be made null because of a GTA 5 mod from 8 years ago.
And then October came around and Nintendo pressured another Switch emulator, Ryujinx, into shutting down through unclear means. Finally, a man determined to stick it to the man named The Game Guru decided that he would challenge Nintendo by streaming a ton of pre-release games. He of course got sued by them, but only after being warned 50 times. This one is okay, he was stupid.
Ubisoft, might as well call it the Titanic.
Ever since it hit the iceberg that was Ross Scott last year, that ship is finally sinking to death, bro. There were so many Ubi stories that we omitted throughout the year because it really was just one of those cases where you were stupefied by how bad of a company they are. Let's talk about it.
Some of Ubisoft's games, like Skull and Bones, totally bombed after 11 years of development, while Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown was actually decent but got overshadowed due to poor marketing, which Ubisoft then blamed and fired the entire dev team over.
Ubisoft re-released Beyond Good and Evil for its 20th anniversary, but then sneakily removed the original version from stores. Star Wars Outlaws was a buggy, unplayable mess, and the fix for the game wiped out player save files, meaning anyone who had early access to the game had to start over on the official release day.
Ubisoft also revoked licenses for The Crew, which meant players lost paid content, though they did announce offline modes for The Crew 2, most likely in response to the Stop Killing Games initiative.
Finally, X-Defiant, which was delayed over and over again, finally released as a buggy, unplayable mess. And even though they kept trying to spin the game as a successful one and that it definitely wasn't dying, it wasn't, and X-Defiant was announced to be shutting down next year.
And the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake still isn't out, but we're sick of talking about the bad things in gaming. So here's all the cool things that gamers did in 2024.
Helldivers 2 players rallied together and actively fought against team killers like Gantz the Demon by spreading the word and putting a bounty on his head.
For democracy.
With the help of a mod called Clusterio, dedicated Factorio players within the Eternity Cluster community were able to push the game past its limits to achieve 1 million science per minute.
The nerds don't plan on stopping there, as they've already pushed past the 1 million mark and continue to grow, for science.
After Nintendo announced the online services for the 3DS and Wii U were going to shut down permanently, the group Team 0% made it their goal to complete every Mario Maker 1 level with the help of volunteers.
And after their last level, Trimming the Herbs, was marked unplayable due to the original creator using outside sources to clear the level for upload, the team achieved their goal with the official last level, The Last Dance.
Next up, a cultured guy going by the name TOT decided that instead of gooning around with Koikatsu Party and making the ideal girl, he decided to make this Destroy Gundam instead.
And all because he was too poor to buy an actual Gundam kit. But it's still impressive given that he didn't use any mods.
Once again, we've got another group of dedicated gamers who sought out to get every single puzzle piece for the 3DS puzzle swap.
The last piece they were looking for was extremely rare, as it was only available for a limited time in 2012 and only at 3 Japanese airports.
But back in July, someone finally reached out and sent them that final piece. The team now had plans on distributing all 63 puzzles to 3DS owners with modded consoles, and if you're interested, you can reach them via their Discord. And finally, after 22 years, 5 Italian men saw their dreams come true with the publication of their GBA game, Kine.
The project took so long due to lots of hurdles and challenges, but with the persistence of their head developer, Fabio Balsanti, they gained partnership with Incubate, who helped publish the game for the GBA with full packaging and manual. And finally, us in review, as Necro News has grown massively over this past year. We've had more videos with views in the thousands than previous years, and we grew almost 10,000 subs this year. It's not that big in the grand scheme of things, but it's huge to us and we wouldn't be here without you boomers.
Here's to another year where we work towards our goal of being on the VGAs. Alright, so we were gonna do the Steam Winter Sales, but we spent 2 5-hour streams going through all the games under $5, and we haven't even gotten to the $4 range yet. So, if you're watching this, and it's Monday, and we're live, we're finishing it up. I think we're at $3.99 at the time of recording. So come check that out.
No games coming out this week, so you don't have to worry about missing out on anything.
Here's our schedule for the week. We're finishing up the Steam sale streams today. On Thursday, Numbers and I will be playing Cybermancy, and Ellie and I will finish RoboCop and or Subnautica. Well, not finish, but, you know.
And that's it for this year's Necro News. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you're not already,
What's wrong with you?
As always, a very special thank you to our channel members. We're going to be doing more small members only streams this month, so become a member to not miss out on them.
if you made it this far into the video, tell us what game you're looking forward to next year, and also put down if you have a favorite Necro News moment. That'd be cute.
Until next time, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.